Hey guys, welcome back to Second Kick Moto and Auto. So we got the Project Shadow up on the lift here. We're gonna tear this bike down. I'm gonna paint it. I got some custom parts to go on it. If you saw my introductory video, I had the quick connect bags. I got different saddle bags for it, which you'll see. The whole bike, I'm going to be taking all the tins off because I'm going to be sending them out to get painted. I think I'm going to go with a solid black, a nice gloss black. This paint looks alright, but it's an older bike now, and you can tell it's been wiped dry and stuff, and it's scratched and that. And I'm not keen on the silver. I think black and the chrome will look really, really good. First thing I'm going to do though is I'll hold up the package first. Went to Drake Specialties. Got myself a vintage looking Harley tombstone taillight. I know it's a Honda, but I really, really like those taillights. And this bike, it really would suit this bike. So we're going to go ahead and put one of those on. So before I take the back fender off, I'm actually going to lift the bike up, pull the back wheel off, pull the seat off, take the factory taillight out. I got the lens sitting on my toolbox there. And I'm going to see if I can mock that taillight up before I send it off to paint. Send the fender off to paint, that is. So first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm doing these two bolts. There's one on each side, taking the seat off. And then I'll be lifting the back of the bike up, and then I'll come back to you and we'll go over how to pull the back wheel off. Okay, so I got the two seat bolts out, and let me tell you how interesting that was. Two different bolt sizes. That's what you get into with old bikes. This one is not an 11 or a 12. It's in between. It's also not a 7/16 or a half. So I have no idea. I'm going to be replacing that. So we're going to lift the seat off. And let me just set that off to the side. Now I'm going to see where my wiring harness comes up through here. Oh, there it is there. Sorry, I don't mean to have you guys staring. Just wondering for when I go to pull the fender off where the clip is, and it's down in there. So when we actually go to take the fender off, we'll be pulling 1, 2, 3 on each side, and that will take the fender off. So we're gonna actually lift the bike up now. I'm going to take the back tire off so I can get to those bolts. Not to mention, I do have new tires coming for this bike. I'm going to have some white walls going on this to make it that true vintage look. This bike's got so many extras on it. Even the shaft has got a chrome cover on it. And up here on the frame even has a plate with a cover on it. Super, super nice. So, I'm going to figure out what hardware I need to get this axle off, and I'll be right back to you. Okay guys, so what I got going on here, so I've got Vance & Hines long shots on the other side, and I don't know what exhaust you got on your bike, so it could be different. But basically I had to loosen the exhaust and push it down, otherwise I can't get the axle to come out the other side. And I'll bring you over to this side in a minute. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can loosen this off with the axle spinning. There's a pinch bolt on the other side that pinches the axle, and the axle has a huge Allen key head in it, something that I don't even have a close enough size to. So hopefully we can loosen this off without the axle spinning. Perfect. Another way to do that would actually zip that off really quick, is with an impact gun if you had one, and you're not pulling like a lever, it actually spins it. It's actually it's easier if you're in a situation like that. I can see in a lot of this bike that it hasn't been apart. There's a lot of rust once you get bolts off, and it's a little bit of a chase around. So let me see if I can get you set up on the other side to see what we're doing here. Yeah, okay, perfect. So we got a pinch bolt. It's a 12 mil right here. I got my 12 mil wrench. Ooh, that's tight. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to get a hammer, rawhide hammer. Rawhide or rubber works. You're not going to damage the threads nearly as much. Let's see if we can't tap this out. There we go. Okay. Let's see if I can give this a wiggle. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Alright, so we got the axle out. Now I'm going to get my trap door out. Now on a shaft drive, what we're going to do is, I think I got to pull this bolt out, get the brakes out of the way, and we're going to slide the wheel over to get it off the shaft drive, then drop it down. Let's see if this is a 12 mil, hopefully. I think it's bigger. Yep, sure is. Okay, 14 millimeter. I think is 9/16 as well. Go. Okay, so I'm going to put this down. Now when I get this wheel off, I'm going to be putting every bolt back that I can, just so you know where they go while you still have a fresh memory. And you're not going to lose them that way either. Okay, so I think there's a spacer. Yep, so we got a spacer. Now without trying to lose fingers, there we have it. Now, you see up in here, if we can catch it, we've got the bolts that pulls our taillight out. So we're going to be doing that next. Okay, so there's 3 nuts on the back of this taillight up under the fender. They're 10 millimeter. I never usually do this, but I'm actually going to take a pair of side cutters and cut the wire back under here. I'm not using this taillight again. There's ample wire on the new taillight. I just want to get it out of there, and the wire goes up into a channel all the way to the other side of the fender. So if I ever had to, I could rejoin it again. Make sure if you do this, you leave ample space so you can resolder and rejoin it again when you need to. Okay, I'll bring you guys up and let you have a look. So you can see this is where the taillight's at. It's actually indented. I'm going to see how close the bolts are on the back of that other taillight, or see if I have to modify it. Let's just do that quick now, actually, while I got you here. You know, the top ones are really close. I might try and, sorry, I might try and take this down and see how close I can get this to bolt up, and then see what we got to do from there. Okay guys, I'm going to show you what we got here. So there's the 3 bolts, and I assume the Harley taillight has like a bump out for that to sit into. Obviously on the Honda it doesn't, but if I put that in the bottom, it actually sits right where it needs to. So the bottom bolt is right. The top bolts are recessed, but I have the bracket off the stock Honda taillight. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the grinder, because right now they sit somewhere around here and they'll be down. So I think what I'm going to do is take that, I'm going to cut it right here, and I'm going to bend it to see if I can get those bolts to go through, drill a couple holes, and hopefully that'll be the perfect mount for the taillight. Okay guys, so this is actually bolted up sitting on the bike, and it looks really nice. I'm going to do something about the signals, especially the blue lights and the big ugly license plate bracket. I don't think I'm going to change the signals right away, but eventually I think I'll be doing something with the turn signals. But yeah, that's bolted in place, finger tight. But I'm going to show you in a minute what I did here, just so you understand, in case you want to do this to your bike. Okay, so I got the 3 nuts off the back, so I'm going to pull this out now. Actually pull the wiring right up out. So to make this work, the stock bolt on the Drag Specialty taillight goes right in that hole. We got up here, obviously this was inset and it wasn't going to work. So what I did was, this is the bottom part of the stock bracket off of the Shadow Aero taillight. It'll probably be the same as an Ace and the original Ace 750s as well. All I did was cut it, and then I put a new bend in it. So basically it was straight out from there. You can see a little bit. See if we can. So it went from there out. So I just cut it and then bent it down using my vise, drilled 2 new holes, and that fits up perfectly. So that's that. So next we're going to get to taking the back fender off. Okay, so now we got the taillight mocked up. It's time to take this fender off. What do I got here? 10mm wrench for the little bolts that hold on the fender attachment, and for up here I believe, because I'm going to strip this right down while it's going, because it's going straight to paint. We have a, see if I get a T number off of this. Well, it's an Allen key anyway, it's HW6 it says. For the quick attach bolts. And it's a 14mm that hold the last bolt onto the fender. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run around with my 10mm. Take the seat bolt off and take the piece of fender trim at the bottom off, just to make it easier. Instead of trying to hold it and twist it around, we'll do it while it's attached to the bike. Oh, it's actually an 8mm. It's a 10mm on the back. And again, this is on this bike, but you know, maybe your Aero doesn't have it, if that's what you're watching this video for. Hopefully that doesn't go flying. I don't know if you can hear that, but somebody definitely has a belt slippage issue, perhaps bad power steering or alternator issue. So once again, I'm putting these bolts and nuts back in the piece just so I don't lose it. I've actually got a box for the rear fender accessories going. Okay, up on top here. I think I'm going to take the 14 mils off first. Might be more difficult to hold the fender and undo up here. Be prepared, this could be fender trim that just comes off over top of a piece of steel. So if that starts to fall off when you're undoing it, don't be alarmed. I already took the one center bolt out on this side because it needs to be replaced. It was broken and replaced with an oddball bolt. I might be changing these regardless because of the new style bags I'm putting on. And we got washers behind there that are falling out. Last one. Especially if this is fresh paint, but or if you're putting it back on, you want to have a good hold of this so it doesn't fall and scratch. Very carefully. Let it set in here. I'm going to unplug my wires, and then I'm going to be pulling them out. Okay. Good thing I'm painting this. There's the back fender off. Okay, I think this will be the end of part one of our build. That's quite a bit of footage, and I try not to do too long a video. It's I don't know, I don't want to watch videos that are 45 minutes long. I don't think anybody else does. So in the next videos we'll be moving over and we'll be taking the tank and the front fender and perhaps the front wheel even off. Okay? Talk to you soon, guys. Cheers.